How are utilities handled for DADUs and ADUs? Electricity, internet, all of that.
Yeah, so I'll do the simple ones first. Of course, utilities like internet. It's a pretty straightforward one. You can do variations of any of these kinds of things. So there's nothing really set exactly in stone.
Mm-hmm.
Simplicity for internet, you just obviously call up your internet provider, like say Comcast, and you say, hey, we need 2 different services provided.
Okay.
As far as say water or sewer, if it's an attached dwelling unit, the sewer is basically still connected to the existing home, unless you want to create a new service, which to me wouldn't make too much sense.
Okay.
But water, again, if it's attached to the house already, you're tying onto that same water. In our world, it wouldn't make sense to create a new water service just because the amount of cost that it would take for a client to have that opportunity. We'd recommend not doing it just because it saves on budget.
Mm-hmm.
You could easily tie in, and this is why it's always a flex and a flexible opportunity. Sometimes you can have the utilities tied in to the rent cost, and sometimes you can have it where it's rent plus the utilities, and then it's a percentage, and however either the property manager or the owners want to do it. Singling out that, okay, there's 2 renters in our basement, and there's 4 of us upstairs, and we split the water in 6 ways, and then they have to pay for, a third or 2/6 of the water.
Mm-hmm.
And then electricity is very similar. It's you can provide a new service. Again, having a new meter, having a secondary meter on an attached unit would be, in my mind, an unnecessarily move.
Okay.
The opportunity of bringing in all these utilities as a new service is cost from the street or the utilities in ground in front or wherever the utilities start, is thousands upon thousands of dollars to just get them to the new location. So that's digging, that's the having the electricians, the plumbers, the groundwork teams doing all that kind of stuff where it just doesn't add up to make a lot of sense. However, if you're doing a detached unit, you do very similarly. You could tie on to the existing water and the existing sewer and the existing electricity and have a sub electrical panel in the unit, so they have access to their own power and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, when you're adding to, and you're not tearing down, because there's a lot of people that are now getting these properties, purchasing these properties, tearing down the home, and then adding multiple ADUs or townhomes, condos, whatever. And so then that would be in play of, okay, if you're tearing down to ground, then of course adding the services, of course, makes sense.
Right.
But for the most part, I've not seen too many times in our time doing these that it would make sense for a customer to do a new service.
Okay.
So most of the time it's usually just separated out.